Holy, don't wake daddy, Batman! Tiki here, and I've been watching through Batman, the animated series, for the first time, and oh my god, that one got to me. Dragon, I need a minute. Tell him why we're here, Dragon. Tell him why we're here.
Well, you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham, in a way.
And tonight, hot damn, man, we're talking about Season 4, Episode 8, Growing Pains. Whew. Dragon, this is an elite one. This is a Rushmore. This is a Rushmore for me. Yeah. Wow. I literally just got done watching Dragon. I knew the twist. I wanna lay that out right off the bat because Doug Walker talked about this on his top 10 animated or top 11 animated Batman the Animated Series episodes way back in the day. Like I'm talking like way back Nostalgia Critic season 1 or 2.
Yeah, back when he was good.
Right. And yeah, so I knew that the girl was Clayface from the get-go. But Dragon, as I was talking about with the Cobra Kai of it all and Miguel in season 2 and watching that final fight, you know what I'm talking about. Knowing how it was going to play out almost made it more suspenseful because I was like, oh god, when's the shoe going to drop on this? So yeah, I mean, suffice to say, based on my reactions, Dragon, I think this is honest to God one of the absolutely one of the best Batman the Animated Series episodes I have seen thus far. It is in I would say solidly in my top 5.
Well, as far as New Adventures goes, would you say it's better than Never Fear? Because that seems.
Easily. I mean, Never Fear was great, but I mean, I'm saying this is like above and beyond anything else that we've seen so far in season 4, and we've had some good episodes in season 4, but. Yeah, Dragon, this really blew me away. Needless to say, but hot damn, let's get the love train going for Tim Drake. Am I right?
Yeah, again, Never Fear and Growing Pains. These are the definitive Tim Drake episodes of the animated series for sure. I mean, basically, it's kind of like a. Sort of like a trilogy of Tim Drake episodes of basically Tim Drake stories, and the third one doesn't happen until the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker movie. So that's kind of the third part of the whole Tim Drake affair. But basically,
the twisty twist that you're talking about.
Well, I mean, again, we learn what happens to Tim Drake in that movie in a number of ways. Tim Drake is a player in that movie, and well, things happen. I'll just say that much at this point. Again, I hope you'll probably forgotten certain things, but I imagine not like some of the big stuff.
I'm probably like half and half on what I actually remember about that movie.
Plus, you haven't seen. I don't think you've seen the uncut version. So, regardless,
probably not. I don't know.
Well,
clamshell VHS whenever that came out.
Well, yeah. In that case, it was not released on VHS. So you probably haven't seen the uncut version. Which, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, yeah, but. Yes, Tim Drake episode for sure. Shall I get into the context?
Yeah, by all means.
A little bit of background, a little bit of context here. So, the director on this was they brought in one of TMS's top animators to direct this. They brought in Atsuko Tanaka. So Atsuko Tanaka here, he just to give you a few things that he's been like a directing animator, like an animator on. He's done Animaniacs, which of course TMS, the other big feather in TMS's cap more regularly than Batman, was Animaniacs at the time. They'd also done other kind of Amblin-related things, such as, they did the Tiny Toons, How I Spent My Summer Vacation movie. That was them.
Why have we not talked about that yet?
It's weird because, I don't know, I mean...
That is iconic, man.
It's interesting because now it's available, and I forget if it's on Hulu or what. The point being, Tiny Toons is now available, so we might have more of an I forget the movie's available. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure the movie's also available, but anyway... Anyway, so beyond that, Tiny Toons, How I Spent My Summer Vacation, and the Pinky and the Brain Christmas special.
Oh yeah, we definitely covered that one.
We did. All right, so the writer on this, we had kind of the 1-2 punch of basically the top writers. Again, the big passing of the torch duo, of course, Paul Dini being the wonderful, always the monolithic Paul Dini. You can definitely sense that here, I'm sure. and kind of the new golden boy, Bob Goodman. I love Bob Goodman. He's the man
Mm-hmm.
who kind of basically brings us Batman Beyond, and like, again, he's very much kind of like Paul Dini's successor in many regards. I'm not saying that Paul Dini's going anywhere, but I'm just saying Paul Dini can't be there for every episode. And as we get further and further into the DCAU, and particularly Batman Beyond, that other guy is mostly Bob Goodman. So Bob Goodman, the point being, these two guys, they teamed up on Double Talk this season. The ventriloquist episode. That was them, and
Which is another one I really liked. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Oh, and also Bob Goodman did he did the late Mr. Kent for Superman the Animated Series, which again one of my favorite episodes from the Superman Animated Series. Again, keep talking up, man. It's awesome. You've seen it. It's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
All right. Studio worked on this, as I said before. Be a real shocker if it wasn't them, given the director. TMS. So TMS this season they had done Never Fear, which is a great episode, but of course, appropriately for this episode, TMS most famous for Feet of Clay Part 2, which is the very
Oh my
amazing...
God. Yeah, and it's just a true return to form for them, man.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. So TMS for sure. Again, if you're gonna, here's the thing: the last time we did Clayface, we used an animation studio that again wasn't TMS, but then again it was Mudslide, where the morphing effects he's breaking down. They're supposed to look messy. So even if the animation wasn't great, they'd be covered. But we need to look great here. So we got the big leagues. All right. So I learned something really amazing about the making of this episode. I had no idea about. I shouldn't say like groundbreaking, but something I never knew before. Paul Dini. So. Paul Dini had kicked around this concept for a few seasons in Batman the Animated Series. It was after Mudslide. Because think about it. So at Mudslide is the last time we saw Clayface. So basically, Dini, the original idea, and this is way before we had the New Adventures and the revamp and everything in the fray. This is like, probably around the Batman and Robin era, be my guess, around the third season from the Betting Man. Either that or in between, like right before they move on to Superman. So Dini just kind of lived with this idea of this interesting idea of, what if it was Dick Grayson Robin, it wasn't Tim Drake? What if Dick Grayson, while at college, because we had the college-age Robin, he met a girl who kind of had basically what we have here with Annie. Basically, the ages were kind of aged up. It was like, what if Dick Grayson kind of befriended this kind of amnesiac girl while at college?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically just kind of like a grown-up Dick Grayson story before we've kind of retrofitted. And again, Bob Goodman, basically what Bob Goodman brought to the episode. And this again is kind of what they did with Double Talk. Dini brings in the premise, and then Bob Goodman kind of reconfigures it and runs with it for the revamp. That's kind of the way their partnership has worked. So what Goodman did is he filled in, like, Dini had the twist. Be clear, so Dini did have the Clayface of it all, the twist, all that. Goodman, he filled in the blanks and mainly the ending. The ending is very much Goodman. Of course, the Tim Drake of it all, that is also Bob Goodman making that sing. I remember this episode. I was very psyched to get to this episode when I first watched it because I loved Clayface from the animated series, and again, he was the one he didn't show up that often, but when he showed up, it was a big deal because he always was animated the coolest. It was like, oh my God, Clayface! After that two-parter, and then he's all melty in the other one. Like, what are they going to do in the revamp?
It's really interesting because, like most of the villains with Batman kind of come from a psychological point of view. And with Clayface, I mean, that's definitely part of it, especially with the girl character. But I mean, for the most part, Clayface is just kind of like a generic sort of like robber bad guy. But the exciting part of him comes from the actual like animation style and kind of like pushing the boundaries in that regard.
Yeah, and again, we kind of gave him kind of the ultimate kind of swan song sort of episode with his debut, with the whole death scene, basically the whole actor angle, the deformed actor trying to trying to make the getting revenge. It was a revenge story, which then has kind of devolved into a guy trying to seek a cure. To at this point, a guy who's just giving up on the cure and just kind of just trying to profit off the world that has kind of spawned him for his deformity. So he's kind of he's like, again, it's kind of like what we did with Mr. Freeze in the revamp. Mr. Freeze, the sad punctuation to his arc at this point is that he's now just a criminal with a gimmick, and he was so interesting in the beginning. I'm not saying it's like we've downgraded him so far. I'm saying that's kind of the sad. This character was never truly a villain. I mean, he did bad things, but he was never true like a mustache twirl. Like he wasn't simple. It wasn't just like a guy doing bad things for no reason, just for money and conventional reasons. Anyway, last most important thing, Tiki, got one question for you. Did you recognize the voice on Annie?
Oh my God, it sounded so goddamn familiar, Dragon.
Oh,
I couldn't place it even when I looked the name up.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock your world.
Oh God.
Francesca Marie Smith.
Okay, but
Okay,
I don't
I know.
recognize that name off the top.
I know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Helga Pataki.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right.
I figured you weren't gonna know who that was, but I
Yeah,
was.
no, but it sounded so
Mm-hmm.
damn familiar,
See, that's
Dragon.
why in the dozier of last episode I said a very familiar voice because I.
Uh-huh.
All right, okay. So all that said, let's dive into this puppy. All right. So we start with a scared girl alone on the streets of Gotham, being basically being accosted by a group of biker punks, kind of a runner in Batman. If the Schumacher films were any indicator.
Okay, can we talk about how just distinctly 90s and almost ah, you know, I don't know, it's just got such a tone to it, just the biker gang, especially the one with the blue tattoos and the blonde spiked hair.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very, it's very unsettling. Like, oh God, they're accosting this poor girl and asking to play. And again, we're on Kids WB, yet we can get away with this. It's really, yeah.
Family picture.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so they're accosting this poor girl, like they're cornering her, and they, it's just real, sick and wrong sort of stuff. So then Robin enters, and is at this great, like, don't you want to play? And then Robin just kind of enters very heroically, saying, maybe she doesn't like slime. And of course, like, hey, where'd they get out of here, kid? So basically saying, hey, Halloween's over, kid. It's trying like, apparently this guy does not recognize, the Robin costume. He really,
Mhm.
not the brightest biker graduate. So as Robinson saying, hey, the girl leaves with me, or you're the one getting hurt. Like, yeah, give Robin some Clint Eastwood dialogue. I dig it. Okay,
Then he just
so
throws a frickin' like wood pole like right at the dude's face.
like a long 2x4 or something.
Uh-huh.
Big old. That's the TMS man. Even before we get to the Clayface of all, they're shining in the animations. What
Right,
TMS
right.
does best, buddy boy. Where Robin's like again, Robin using his surroundings, very Batman lesson, very Nolan-esque
We have
Batman
grown up
lesson.
Hawk from Cobra Kai.
Well, sure, that too. Kind of going from Robin to Hawk, sure. Basically he's like throwing like this giant block of wood, like a javelin at the guy, knocking him
Right,
off his
right.
bike, and pretty much doing stuff like basically kicks like a garbage can at a guy, so he basically topples off his bike and then hit another guy. It's awesome, great action. Good. I love when TMS is in the driver's seat, Tiki. Again, the whole season they're trying to make it look like TMS. So again, this is then when they actually get TMS. It's top tier. All right. So let's see.
So Robin turns around to check on the girl, see if she's all right, and she is running away. And cops kind of pull up, block her way, and Robin says, like, "Are you in trouble with the cops? Because I can help. I just want to help."
Yep, he offers to take her to her family, and but the problem is she can't remember. She can't remember anything. But all she knows is the imperative that she has to keep moving. I love the little nuggets of mystery there. Like, okay, we know we're gonna have the explanation for this later, but you just kind of know why does she just feel that she needs to keep moving, yet she doesn't remember anything else. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a head wound, maybe not.
And of course, with me watching and kind of knowing the twist, I'm just sort of like, that's clever. I see what they're doing there.
Yeah.
All right, so I love this shot of the bat symbol against the red sky.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the red sky aesthetic for season 4.
Now, and there's kind of a practical reason for the red sky too, is that they kind of the new adventures, again, the big delineation between new adventures and in the animated series is that we kind of have Batman in daylight more because of the red skies. The red skies is kind of a again, it's kind of like if we wanted to put Batman in kind of like a more of an afternoon setting, we'd have the perfect excuse with the red skies. Basically, no one can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of also, it's a little bit of like, we don't necessarily just have to landlock Batman at night, but by the same time, we don't want to feel like he's in like the early morning hours. So it's kind of a middle ground. All right, so, but yes, the bat, I love the snippets on the rewatch of the bat signal, because this whole episode's about Tim Drake, kind of like conforming to the path of Batman right now. So again, the girl runs off, he has a choice, like, do I chase down the girl or do I answer the call? And again, it's just the symbolism of destiny calling for you, and also in parallel to the whole significance of the signal lights for later on. Again, the signal lights of the lighthouse later on. So it's kind of a nice little dual. It's a great little dual symbol, and again, just a little foreshadowing to the whole Robin's and Batman relationship that we were kind of like building up for the big Dick Grayson episode as well. So the whole like you got to pick a path here, do you? You know, so anyway, so Robin he turns, he runs and answers the call, leads to a Batman Gordon office scene.
Yeah, and fittingly, it's pretty much just Batman and Gordon with Robin kind of like sidelined in the corner, very visually appropriate. It's like really, at the end of the day, Robin doesn't even have to be there, and that's what kind of makes it all the more insulting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like he's trying to earn points with the boss man. That's mainly why he's there.
Right.
So, anyways, the point being, long story short, we learn in this scene that there have been a string of robberies by this seemingly invulnerable, strong mystery man. Real guy. The guy's got a real ugly mug, too. So, Tim Drake, seemingly, his mind is somewhere else in the scenes. He's kind of dazing out the window here. He's there, he's listening into the situation. But again, it's like pretty much same information just to Batman. But again, Tim Drake's just kind of there. His mind's elsewhere from the earlier scene.
I'm glad my Barbara's past her wild years.
But don't forget, we have that great gag too. The whole like, how does a guy get a face like that? Luck. Wait, what? Sorry, I was thinking about a girl. Then we get the whole Barbara thing. Just like, oh god. Which again, it's kind of the beginning of the end type stuff. Where I mean, you could just take it as like, little does he know that his daughter's Batgirl. But again, as we get further into it, it's going to get a little, yeah. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
fucking Batman's just standing there all serious, like, yeah, he's talking about Batgirl.
That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that now, retroactively, it's like, oh, we know where it's gonna end up, and it's like, come on.
Oh, I hate that. I really.
But again, it's like it's supposed to be like a cute gag of like, oh, little does he know that Batgirl, this little innocent Barbara's running around kicking people in the face. Anyway, all right. So anyway, okay. So after that, okay. So Batman and Robin are kind of talking as a little rooftop conversation, as basically Robin has filled in Batman on the whole on the whole girl situation, and Batman's advice is like, well, it sounds like she belongs at Runaway Center. There's nothing we can do about it now. We're not going to be able to find her again. Batman gives him some advice here, saying like, hey, keep your head clear. This line will work. One slip up. That's it. One slip up is too many. So Batman, he's not necessarily unsympathetic, but he is trying to teach Robin a lesson. He's trying to convey to him the importance of, again, if you're distracted, like, again, this is the kind of stuff we see all the time, like the Scott Snyder Batman stuff, where, Batman taking off focus when Alfred's kidnapped, that's going to get somebody killed, so Batman has to, like, kind of compartmentalize that. So that's kind of what he's trying to impart on kind of on little Robin here.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Alfred is escorting what?
I think it's the next day. So, next day.
All right, next day. Alfred's escorting Tim Drake back to the manor, and, Tim Drake sees the mysterious girl on the street. Well, first of all, we get the really important line where, like, he's always treating like a kid. No offense, sir, but you are a kid.
Yeah, I love Al. Again, this is why Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is the best Alfred de facto, because there's a warmth, but there's a humor. But again, there's humor and warmth and like the fatherly wisdom. There's like, well, pardon the intrusion, sir, but you are a kid. Like you are.
And it's going to come back, man. That line's going to come back, and I like how it comes back.
And again, a teachable moment from Alfred, too, and I love it.
Yeah,
So anyway, yes, you're right. Tim spots the girl. Alfred basically says, "Well, Alfred, you gotta stop. There's the girl." Says, "Sir, I'm under strict orders to take you back to the manor." Says, "Oh, it's a shame Master Timothy isn't here." As we reveal, I love this. Tim Drake kind of found like a little loophole. Hey, if I put the Robin mask on before he says that, dual identity, double life going on here. I'm not Tim Drake right now. I can scurry out of this car, which, again, Alfred these are the moments that just make Alfred sing, man. Whereas Alfred gives that sigh because he knows, what am I going to do? Make him jump out of the car? No, I'm going to pull over for him. I'm going to let him go. He's a determined young man. I raised this for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So, but then, of course, the moment he leaves, though, he calls in the big man, as he's wont to do. Sir, I'm so sorry to bother you at the office, but bit of a situation.
All right.
They're at the bus terminal, like kind of bus station area, like this. Basically, this giant kind of like a lot of parking levels in the scene, but
Hey, man, at least it's not a warehouse.
But that's what I'm saying, though. We're you know, we're changing it up this season.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right, so Robin's chasing after the girl. He's grappling. Basically, she kind of almost runs in front of a. She's facing down the wrong end of a bus. Robin kind of grapples her to safety. Of course, at a little moment, she kind of collapses into her arm there. At a little shock of it all and the scariness of it all. And again, the little light connection, the headlights. Again, you're building to the lighthouse, kids. So Robin's asking, "What's up? Why do you keep running away from me, man?"
Mm-hmm.
She's
like, "There's a man who's after her."
Yes.
She doesn't remember who it is.
But he's there everywhere, even in her nightmares.
Oh, God, and this is where it gets super creepy, Dragon, especially because, like I said, I know it's Clayface, and I know she's a part of Clayface, so therefore she's having dreams about herself. It's fucking twisted.
Yeah. So Robin, very friendly, he offers to help her. He's like, "Look, let me help you."
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, they're trying to name her. Like, let's basically name the amnesiac girl here. And like, okay, it looks to like basically around the bus station here. And you're looking around. It's like, oh, she's a little girl with a raggedy aunt. Oh, how about Annie?
Very convenient.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Anyway, so she's going like, yeah, sure, it's fine. Her legs kind of brushes off, like, okay. So she then and this is the creepy part, I completely forgot, but oh my God, she can sense when he's near. Like, oh yeah, she senses that he's
right.
That he's near. So then again, we have these really great reveals too. Like as the buses are passing by, the light. Again, the lighting runner throughout this whole thing, because of the lighthouse, the light reveals Clayface. So again, the light representing the truth, enlightenment, if you will. So light reveals kind of our giant, kind of menacing man figure.
Yeah, and it's Daddy Dragon.
Yep. So the father here is hunting down we have an abusive father hunting down his runaway child. And again, that's a bold thing the episode covers.
Yeah, I mean, like right off the bat, even before the twist, it's like, okay, shit got real now.
Yeah, that's another big thing, and why this works really well. I honestly, this story works a lot better for Tim Drake than it would the Dick Grayson Robin.
Oh, I totally agree, 100%.
So again, if you go with the abusive father angle, again, Tim Drake, big reason this whole case resonates with him, as he kind of brings up later. His father. Not to be fair, in the animated series, we never said full out that his father was abusive, but he was a rough guy.
If we put the pieces together, though, it's not a pleasant home life that we see.
Because again, he did leave him he just kind of left him one day when Two-Face was after him, and then basically left him without payment for basically the apartment was out without food or water for like weeks to maybe a month, so it wasn't good.
Right.
So the point being, anyway, so it seems like a large abusive father is hunting down his runaway child. At least, again, that's what kind of we're framing the events as here. And again, we have this great coded dialogue that makes all sense later when we piece it together. You were supposed to come back to me. You're supposed to come right back. Of course, this is voiced by Ron Perlman, so a little clue there. But
Dragon, can I can't resist. I did the a little side tangent here, if you don't mind. All right. Okay, so I did the Holy Don't Wake Daddy Batman. Do you know what that's in reference to?
God, I know that's so familiar. Seriously, I do. I know that's Don't Wake. God, was it? Just tell me what it was.
It was an old Hasbro game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was like I think you like moved around a board, and there was like literally like a daddy that would like pop up out of the bed.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah.
But when I think about it in context with this Dragon, it's very disturbing.
It is.
Like, yeah, we don't want to wake Daddy. All right.
Well, we have like the ultimate delivery of the Daddy line later on. We'll get there.
Oh, I know.
That's God, it's one of my favorite. Probably one of my favorite bits of the episode. It always gets me really excited when I go back to this episode. We'll get there.
I hear you.
All right,
All right.
okay. So point being, big guy again, inhumanly strong. He says like, who are you? I'm a father, punk. Stay out of it. Just kicks this giant stone bench. So this is intimidating.
I said, stay out of my way.
He smacks Robin away, and again, Ron Perlman.
Voiced by the impeccable Ron Perlman.
Love him. Love him. Yeah, I told you, I finished his audiobook a while back. He's really got his great.
Have you watched Sons of Anarchy?
No, I have not watched Sons of Anarchy. I was not crazy about the biker thing.
Dip our toe into that, man.
Yeah, maybe. He's got another show. I don't know the name of it, but he had this other show that seemed a little more interesting.
I'm not saying commit to watching the whole thing. I'm just saying dip our toe in. Just give it a taste.
Maybe.
Anyways.
All right. Okay, so anyways, we got some action going on here. We have this really imposing shot of Dad coming for Andy. Again, the rewatch. Again, the tension of if this guy touches her.
Right, yeah.
Then I love that we're staging things like just right before he does. We're keeping them separate. Again, really, really clever.
We also staged that Robin doesn't get a hit in on him.
True. Like Robin, he's very outmatched there. I mean, he kind of punches him, but doesn't he doesn't do a punch that actually hurt him or cause him to reveal any certain things.
Right.
So Robin intervenes. He's clearly he's outmatched. He's tossed around, but again, really great careful landings. He's like doing the thing where he kind of doesn't really fall on his face, but he kind of recatches himself. Then he gets backhanded and grabbed, and then
let him go.
Oh, I love it when Batman does this, Tiki. I'm saying, love it when Batman.
Let's just talk about how awesome and simplistic the design of Batman just swooping down with just the silhouette and the eyes is.
Yeah, dude, this is what I live for with Batman. Just him saving kids, man. Just him swooping. Let him go, and he swoops down within that silhouette and makes an epically glides down. And then Robin is tossed right. He catches the tossed Robin, which is great. So, oh god, it's just the man begins to flee. Batman and Robin pursue. They tell Annie to stay, which she's not going to do, but we'll find that out. Basically, so we have this little chase sequence throughout the bus terminal kind of shuttle setting. A lot of shuttles and buses going around. The man pulls a bad exit because, how the heck is this big guy disappearing like this? Which again,
right,
or the mystery. Makes all the sense in the world. Given the reveal. So the duo split up. One goes left, one goes right. Robin spots him on the upper levels. He grapples up there. Man jumps off the other end of the parking, kind of like the parking garage here, and the layered.
Just lands with almost like a cartoony rubbery thud.
Yes, which again you think, oh man, TMS, you did such a great job with this episode. That's sloppy animation until you realize,
exactly, yeah,
not sloppy animation done with purpose.
Gotta love it. So Batman is giving chase really intensely. Robin grapples up to swing towards the action. Let's see. Then we get to the two of them join up, and like you said, Dragon, he pulls the bat exit. He's nowhere to be found. Goes straight through the sewer grate.
Yep, and again, there's a great detail here. Is Robin? They think that he lifted up like a manhole cover or something and put it back down. But no, that thing's bolted shut. How the heck did he manage that? So, point being, so then we lost him. Then Robin realizes, oh my God, Annie, we gotta go back. We go back to her. So they goes, oh my God, what if he got to Annie in the time he's escaped here or something? So they go back, and she's gone. Batman, playing it smart here, he uses the little sample vial from the utility belt to collect some residue off the broken the stone bench. So hopefully they can get a lead on where he is. Basically, he's imagining, okay, this came off the guy's shoe, so it's the old thing he'll trace, maybe the kind of grounds he's at, so we can kind of isolate it where he's at in Gotham, that sort of idea, before he realizes what exactly this mud is. So Robin, this is a huge moment here. So Robin wants to go after Annie. Clearly, because he's kind of formed a bond with her. He's kind of formed an attachment to the case at large. Batman tells him they're going home. We're going home. He's not trying to crestfallen him or anything. He's we're going home. That's the logical move right now. Robin, he's really jazzed about finding Annie, but Batman just calmly says, searching aimlessly won't help her. Be patient. They get the wizened mentor that is Batman, which then leads to one of the big all-time Tim Drake moments where he stands up to Batman.
Oh,
He
yeah.
violates the rule they made in that first Tim Drake episode, the whole "I make the rules" rule, number 3.
Watch out for that one, kid.
And then we're learning that the hard way here. It's a killer. It says, no, and then Batman's reaction, what?
Right. Kevin Conroy's got some really good bits in this episode. Of course, the legendary one coming up.
That's the really cool thing about New Avengers, at least in kind of this early stage of it all here, where again, we use him sparsely, but we make it count when he says something. So, and again, Tiki, I would say it with him, but it's been a while. Tiki, arrogance of youth. It's the
arrogance of youth. Indeed.
The arrogance of youth at play. Robin refuses to wait around while Batman studies dirt. I'm not going to wait around while you study dirt. I'm going after her. And he's going to go after her alone. So, knowing where we're going to, well, at least me knowing where we're going to go with this, Tiki, and you soon to find out once we get to that big Robin episode coming up. Batman's approach to this situation is really interesting because Batman lets him go, which signifies a couple ways. There are a couple ways you could take this. One is like he's learning to give a Robin distance, which he probably didn't do in the past.
Right.
We know he has a contingency. We know he's not truly worried about not finding him because he's got a little something. He got a little backup plan, which we find out later. But also, I think this signifies again kind of the third part of our Tim Drake story here, where the Batman character flaw within the established Bat family this season is that he doesn't. Batman never shows his feelings in the moment. He never talks with the Bat family in the moment. He's always too late to the party to admit fault or just try and talk them down, just trying to be genuine with them. He's just gonna leave. And again, he never. And this kind of leads why they're all separated from them, Batman Beyond, because he never took these moments like he's Robin. Listen, let me explain to you why we should do this together or something. No, he doesn't do that. He just lets him go on his own instead of just kind of. That's what I'm saying. It's the Batman character flaw. But again, he's right though. But it's going to drive this family away from him. It just feels kind of sad, All right. So Robin.
Okay, so Robin is in just kind of a really, really bad part of town, Dragon. It's looks like an abandoned construction site or something.
Yeah, pretty much like the condemned buildings of Gotham, where the homeless families and the homeless people have just they've kind of, again, homeless families particularly, they've all kind of gathered around kind of these condemned buildings, just trying to find shelter. And I love that Robin is working the hard way, where Batman's working the smart way in this. But again, Robin is working the hard way. He's experiencing kind of the thematic element of the episode the whole episode's about damaged family relationships. It's about being like a non-cohesive family in a sense. Non-cohesive being per our big reveal. But
so Dragon, Robin attends the gala premiere of a big fucking movie, just bold letters, Kane! Subtle.
Well, it's funny. It's not a movie premiere. It's something even better.
I assume it's a Bob Kane reference.
No, you're right, but that's what I'm saying though. It's a Bob Kane reference, but what makes it even better is that it's a gala premiere. So Bob Kane being the artist. So, but of course, let's be honest though. The name I think it's just a coincidence, but I'd love to think that we've intentionally made the name Kane really big, per the irony that we can't say Bob Kane and Bill Finger. We can only say Bob Kane at this point in time. So.
I would like to think there's some sort of irony, and also in terms of tying it into Citizen Kane with the whole corruption of it all. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'd like to think that there's a little bit of shade there, Dragon.
That's not bad.
I'd like to think in my heart of hearts.
Clearly, you look at Mask of the Phantasm, there's a lot of Citizen Kane love. So maybe, but it gets also the irony that Bob Kane, of course, predominantly used ghost artists, and he didn't do a lot of the art. So therefore, we've given him a giant art gala, which is kind of ironic.
Right.
So the point being, just Kane. Again, I do like when they work in Kane. The idea is that Bruce Wayne's now in the comics, Martha Wayne's maiden name was Kane. She was part of the Kane family. So that's the whole anyway. All right, so the point being, they had these searchlights there at this gala premiere, this whole deal. Hey, come to the art gala. These giant signal lights, which again kind of drawn Annie near for some reason, which we'll find out. So she warns Robin that the man basically the man who the man who's going to hurt you too if you keep kind of following me here and you keep trying to help me. He says Robin says I can handle him. He says, well, why are you so sure? Which, by the way, I'm sorry, before we go any further, we should talk about Francesca Marie Smith's performance in this.
Yeah, I mean, she's it's kind of a mirror of Helga in a lot of ways, where it's definitely kind of like amplifying the more vulnerable side of Helga.
Yeah, it's very much like the Helga on the couch, but as a whole episode.
Right. And
yeah,
I don't know, but like I just think this voice actress is just just really talented at just showcasing really complex young female characters who are going through a lot of inner turmoil.
I love seeing her get to play drama versus like we do like hilarious melodrama with Helga all the time, with the one exception of Helga on the couch, which is actually dramatic. So it's really interesting to see her get like really play it without kind of in the kind of comedy drama kind of space or comedy melodrama space of Helga Pataki. So it's really, I think it really allows her to stretch and makes you appreciate her even more as kind of as an actress. So it's really, I don't know, that was really cool. Anyway, so Tim Drake saying, "Oh yeah, all I know is type. My father wasn't a prize either." Again, that's the real reason Robin's so invested in this, because he wants to kind of prevent someone he sees someone in his shoes, but also, again, young boy, a little easy on the eyes. Maybe that's a little bit of it.
Right.
A little bit of both. But again, seriously, with the performance as well, the chemistry between these two crazy kids, it's quite nice. I mean, you kind of invest in it a little bit, don't you?
It reminds me of I forget the names of the characters. Please forgive me, Dragon. But it reminds me of the tween romance in Korra.
Well, which there are a lot of tween romance. Do you mean Bolin and Opal, or
No. Those are like adults by the time they get together.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of we do a little bit.
God damn, it's been a while since I've watched that show, and the character names aren't nearly as memorable. The daughter.
I know. Oh, yeah. You mean? Oh, I know what you mean. You mean Janora and I believe Janora and Kai. At least.
Janora and Kai. There we go. There's the names I'm looking for.
Gotcha. Okay, season 3. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit like. Yeah, I see that. Absolutely. Yes, it's a great comparison. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, again, so they only spend like a day together, really. But again, they kind of build a lot. You're invested in that day's time, And again, they're not like booking a church or anything, but they're
right. Yeah.
And that's the thing. We do this bit here, like she says, "You're the first person I remember ever caring about me," and she kind of like kisses him on the cheek, and you have like an all shucks Robin pose, like it's like very Burt Ward-esque. I love it. So. And then, of course, I have this cute, like, "Hey, but you don't remember anything." It's a nice little moment. Again, so give them this nice little moment. We can't have these in the animated series because then we're gonna have to just crush them down later. We're just gonna have to. It's gonna shatter his delusions. All right, so the light is familiar to Annie. Like the searchlight's kind of a call sign familiar to her. Something's kind of coming back. Basically, she remembers the lights at the top of a really tall tower, which brings us to the lighthouse and kind of near the shores of Gotham.
I could make a lighthouse reference, but I'm not going to, Dragon, because the episode's too good.
So anyway, we're at the very we're at near the lighthouse here, where Annie finds she finds these pipes, the pipes of this chemical factory. Basically, there's like a chemical factory on the edge, kind of a rocky shore where the lighthouse is.
The pipes are calling, Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Never pipe her Henson around when you need her. But yeah, with these giant pipes of this chemical factory kind of leading to some runoff here, right? Because of course it's Gotham, So let's see. So as that's happening, we're back at the Batcave, and this is great.
Right, and ladies and gentlemen, here we go. One of Kevin Conroy's most iconic performances, in my opinion, Dragon.
Oh, this is great. So we're in the Batcave, where the computer is running an analysis on the mud from the shoe. Alfred, and again, Zimbalist Jr. as well, always the consummate scene partner. Excellent, again, fantastic. One of the all-time great supportings. Alfred says. He's asking any word on Robin, any word on Master Tim. I have an eye on him. And of course, we have wisdom from Alfred here. The only opinion Batman ever values truly. He says, you still keep a tracer in the utility belt, eh? He's right. You do treat him like a child. Great line, and before Batman can respond to that line, the shoe drops, man. I mean, the mud from the shoe drops, and it's more than mud. So we have Conroy just bringing it, man. Where Batman says, "Oh my God."
Oh my God.
He runs to the car. Alfred's like, "Oh my God, what do you mean? Like, what is like, what? What did you find?" And then Batman, as he jumps in, Tiki, this is the add to the scene because TMS is doing this episode. The revamped Batmobile has never, ever looked as good as it does in this moment.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because again, the dramatic element of the scene, I guess, maybe helps with it as well. They wanted to really make it pop. This is where Batman jumps in the Batmobile, about to drive off very dramatically. Because after the whole, "Oh my God," he says, "I know who Daddy is."
I know who Daddy is.
As you can probably tell, folks, we're not doing this near amount of justice, but it's amazing.
Well, I mean, just how silly that line is, and Conroy just legitimizing the absolute hell out of it.
I just love the dread on Batman, the fact that Batman knows the big twist because he's the world's greatest thing. He's figured it out, ideally, before the audience has. Again, if you haven't seen like a little tip-off or gotten a little nostalgia critic, and you pretty much might be going to this claim. Mm-hmm. But seriously, Batman's the dread that Batman has just kind of adds to the bill, and Robin's in the crosshairs, right? Like, oh God, this is not good. So we're walking through the pipes because they're calling. So Robin fears they're walking into the origin of her troubles may not have been the best idea in retrospect. Like, oh man, she's probably been running and afraid of this for a reason. We're kind of walking into a trap right now. And he says, "Well, look, I have to know, and plus I got Robin to protect me this time. What could happen?" So then, of course, the minute she says that, she slides, and I got to tell you, Tiki, I think she's doing such a great job, like doing a performance so different from Helga. But there's one moment in this whole episode. This feels very, very much like the Weez and Ed episode where they fall down that giant, like, ah! He's doing like the
right. Well, it's just a scream. Give her a break.
No, it is. I'm just saying I like that there's like a little Helga nod in the episodes. Like, it's kind of nice. Like a little. Sure. It's so diametrically opposite the Helga, with that one exception. That little ah. All right. So again, child actors too at this time, doing a great job with it too. All right. So we are out. So out of the darkness, as they're down like further, basically the only way out now is forward. As they're kind of making their way through, out of the darkness of this pipe emerges Daddy.
Dun dun dun. God.
So, and again, thanks to Conroy, we legitimized Daddy.
All
right. So then, of course, Daddy here saying like, "Finally, you've come back to me." And then we reveal, as he's making a few steps forward, he begins to morph, and it's Clayface.
What a twist!
And by the way, I love that face gag from earlier. Gordon said, like, how does one get a face like that? I like that the face, subtle allusion to face, Clayface. Ah.
Right, so Clayface just kind of lumbering towards them. Now we can cut out the games.
And I love when Clayface makes his entrance here. We have the classic Clayface music. Dun, 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 dun. They have that. TMS should only animate Clayface.
And here we go, Dragon. Just like right from the very beginning, we have like these crazy spikes just shooting out of his body, like kind of creating a barrier for them.
What's so great, Tiki, is that we put Clayface in this confined space. Where we're kind of morphing his size, but it kind of makes sense.
I love when he morphs into the bricks.
I know, it's so great. And then when the bricks hit, it's like if the cement came alive. It's like the cement. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's TMS. They do fantastic work. Now, again, we should probably briefly address the redesign on Clayface. Where again, so Clayface was redesigned. Where he's not as
honestly, I feel like out of all the characters, Clayface is like the most excusable to redesign and the most easy to pass off because, like, he's constantly morphing and shaping and reshaping himself, anyways. An
interesting fact: Clayface is the only not counting aside from maybe Mr. Freeze with the whole new suit. And the whole robot thing. Outside of that, Clayface is the only in-universe explained redesign because we learn his origins later on, so the chemicals turned him different.
Sure, sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So I love that there is yes, it's not quite the lovely like every kind of image and movement is kind of like a work of art, like the messy work of art, like it's like the ultimate clay sculpture come to life as we had in the animated series. But again, in streamlining Clayface, making him more of like kind of like a red clay, sort of like just actual clay like being versus just kind of like some people have used the not so colorful use the colorful analogy. He's like a throw up man, where that's kind of mean, but
Nah.
I'm saying like the original one because I love the original one. But the point being, I like that in streamlining them, this allows TMS to go even better and crazier, more fluid with the animation because
with the actual transformations. Yeah, for sure.
Because basically the problem was
his baseline is so simple.
Exactly, because basically getting him back to point A is so much easier now. That's
right. That makes a lot of sense.
And again, that's the whole purpose behind a revamp is putting the perfect practice with this episode with Clayface. Anyway, so yes, after all, like we're running away from him. Let's see. So the point being, the kids have put some distance. We end up going from the pipes to where the pipes lead to, which is a chemical factory. Basically, I believe like a solvent, a chemical factory that makes solvents for like adhesive and stuff, and it's a solvent factory. Which, by the way, only in Gotham do we just end up in a catwalk and over chemical vats. I mean, it's Gotham.
I know, right?
It ain't Ace Chemical, but it's the next best thing. So then we have the bigger reveals. How we top the Clayface was Pop all along? Well, I'll tell you. Clayface, as Annie's running away from the bricks and everything, is like Robin like chops through like these metal fingers, almost very Freddy Krueger-esque kind of fingers going on here. Pieces of clay fall on Annie, and once they get some distance, we reveal the clay is kind of reabsorbing itself into her skin and her clothing. And we have this really haunting reveal when she's like, we remember, like, it's very Miyazaki-esque. We're masking her eyes and everything. I am Clayface. It's like, oh no.
Clayface.
Say it ain't so. And then we had the flashback, which again, given the episode's origins, now makes even more sense. This is where we left off in Mudslide, where he was in the water, so he washed ashore to this chemical factory, which allowed him to reform. And again, the one time we've ever addressed it, you see the old color on Clayface before he changed his look as he sends her out. So. Yeah. Anyways, the point being, the idea is that Clayface, as he was reforming himself after the events of Mudslide, where he's now regained his molecular stability. He's now chemically stabilized. Clayface wanted to do some recon to see where he was and everything, piece things together. So he sent like a little scout, which was basically this little girl, but as like a proto Clayface to go around, but the problem is it didn't return because being so far separated from, I guess, like the Clay Force, if you will, being like so far away from Clayface's mind, she forgot who she was and just never came back.
It's just such a creepy idea.
What's so genius about this idea too, Teak, is that again I never thought about this until
it's very Bluthian Dragon.
Yeah, you're right. It is very blue. I mean, she herself very Bluthian kind of conception as well.
But yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying, Teak. Think about it. Matt Hagen, the actor, is so well conveyed in that, again, a piece of himself takes on a role and gets so wrapped up in the role, completely forgets about Matt Hagen. That's genius. That's Dini, man. That's brilliant Dini stuff right there. And also,
absolutely.
Little fun fact that kind of blew me away. Annie herself, I know the name obviously, but outside of the name Annie, her design is a movie nod. So presumably in universe, Matt Hagen saw the movie that he modeled her after. So she's modeled after a young character in this movie called The Professional. She is, I believe, the actress is, I forget the actress of the character. It's I've never seen it, so it's a Mathilda Lando.
Oh yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That again, tracks,
Matt Hagen pulling a movie reference in kind of the role that he's taken on. That's really cool,
that's
right?
Super meta, dude.
Yeah. All right, so so point being, we've established the stakes. Where now she's dealing with this whole ethical, like we pulled the ultimate matchstick moment here. If we're going by Pixar standards, like oh my god, now she's now questioning her existence right now. Where Robin's like, okay, Robin's still determined to save Annie from Clayface here, but Annie's now dealing with this existential crisis of save what? I'm not a real person. I'm not real.
It's so goddamn hard.
Yes. Oh God! So so right now we've set up Robin for failure, which is so brilliant because there's no way out of this where he's gonna win.
Uh-huh.
There's no way out of this. And of course, then we have like the cool kind of no touchy idea here, where again, if she touches him, then she ain't gonna be around anymore. So Clayface, so fascinatingly, Clayface is kind of in the right in this episode. He's
A little
technically
bit,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
Bear in mind, he's still robbing people, which is not cool. Which is why we can beat the crap out of him a little bit. But still, he's I mean, again, he's the whole framing. He's just a little creepy about it, but he's not wrong. No. So he tells Robin to stay at, but again, the fact he's giving Robin a chance to go home, because again, like, I don't have a beef with you. I just want to reabsorb myself here. I get, the misconceptions. Let it go. Let me reabsorb myself here. So Annie's not sure what to do right now because again, existential crisis. Come back to me. I have the creepy line from Hagen. Come back to me. It's the only thing you can do. Which basically is our big kind of metaphor for abusive relationships right there. Which again tease up a little bit of mad love for later. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, interesting stuff. So Robin tells Annie to run. Robin is then. Oh my God, this TMS bit. Robin is on a catwalk, and Clayface's arms kind of spurt out, and they just block him in the little catwalk. He has nowhere to go. He's cornered like a rat, and then Clayface has two other arms that pop out of his chest and are trying to shove him over the railing. Oh my God, the shot looks amazing.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
All right, so as things are heating up here, looks like Robin's and Goner's going to be thrown over to a vat, and there's God knows what bad stuff's going to happen to him being thrown into a chemical solvent vat. I have no idea. Again, very Elm Street-esque, by the way, very Nightmare on Elm Street-esque kind of like horror is going on here as well with the whole, what's about to happen, I should say. So Annie goes for the big sacrifice. Annie goes for the big sacrifice. Do you want to tell me what it is?
Yeah, she just kind of like leaps right into him, man. She just like kind of like does the football charge right into his body. And then, holy mother of God, Dragon, holy mother of God, we just get her just being sucked right into the massive clay. And it is disturbing. And this is on, I repeat, Kids WB.
So, I'm sorry. This is what I was alluding to specifically. So I'm convinced they took, because it was around the '90s, at the very least, early '90s. One of the Freddy Krueger movies, one of Nightmare on Elm Street, had this whole thing where Freddy Krueger's like entangled in somebody he's been trying to absorb, and it's like it's eerily creepy and similar to this. Only this is more artfully done. It's just like so creepy, like just being absorbed into a body like this. Oh god, and again, like the whole children in peril thing. But again, I'll tell you this, Tiki, if the censors, here's what, again, Kids WB has been really free-willing, obviously, this whole go-around. But even if they weren't, if they need a loophole, because again, one of the big rules that you for the animators is that you couldn't put children in peril. Is that, sure. Well, she's made of clay, though.
Oh god, damn it. Oh, the bastards. Yep. I mean, she doesn't even turn into a clay child, Dragon.
Nope, but again, she absorbs that clay.
They just have to allude to it.
Yeah, again, they cover their bases. We saw her absorb little pieces of clay. We said she wasn't real, and then, well, she's not around. She's absorbed Clayface. Therefore,
man,
the Kids W might just be sick puppies. Maybe that's just it in general, but that's kind of the consensus on the other things. But you know what? Loophole. They got it. So yeah, horrifically, and poor Tim Drake being traumatized by this too. Like Annie, this girl he spent the whole day trying to protect, has sacrificed herself for him. And here's the thing that really got me too, is that as she's being reabsorbed, she's trying to save Robin towards the bitter end. Like, run, Robin, get out of here, run, because Daddy's not going to be happy. So,
Daddy wasn't there. Little Austin Powers reference.
I'm well aware.
All right.
So anyway, so tries to save Robin with her last breath, and then it kind of occurs to me, by the way, that this episode on the rewatch, this is the dramatic origin of the hilarious comedic clay arm in Harley Quinn, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Think about it. The whole again, a piece of Clayface took on its own personality. This is the dramatic version of it versus like the clay arm that befriended
Oh,
Jim
dear
Gordon
God, you're right.
and Harley Quinn. So again, I'm assuming they looked at that episode and they got the big light bulb. Like, yeah, what if we just personified the piece of Clayface? Only we just made it more hilarious.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, Batman arrives and he bears witness to the horror as well, which is important for the big moment they share later. So then we have a big Tim Drake moment here, where Tim Drake ain't happy with Clayface. This is a very interesting situation here, because again, Clayface kind of in the right, still fugitive, mind you, but you bank B&E and all that sort of stuff. But still, he's throwing a batarang into this chemical solvent, which is like falling on Clayface, basically destroying his cohesion. So basically, this thing could actually, in theory, kill Clayface. And he's demanding that he bring her back. Bring her back, and he's like throwing batarangs at the solvent, and it's more of it's pouring, and basically cornering Clayface. Big old puddle in front of him. Like his legs are starting to go out from under him. Pretty much like Spider-Man taking on the Sandman. Spider-Man 2.
It's very similar to that. Yeah.
So then we have a big moment here. Batman stops Robin from essentially killing Clayface. Pretty bold stuff. I mean, he's taken this kid this far. He's about to kill Clayface in this really complex situation here where Clayface, she's gone, she ain't coming back. So Clayface then is attacking as Robin relents, as he should. Clayface, again, that's what separates him from Jason Todd.
I mean, you weren't kidding around with the show being Dark Dragon in the last act.
Oh yes, Clayface. He has these giant scythe arms, which then spark the solvent, which creates like a big.
I love how we just go like he literally kind of just like almost manipulates the material of clay, because of course with clay it can be shaped into anything. So I love the idea of it just being like razor sharp.
Yeah.
Like that's a really clever use of that.
I mean, it's like the most advanced form of ceramics. It's like it's just
right.
I mean, again, if clay can be, forged in, fire and stuff to be really, kind of intricate and sharp and all spiky and stuff, and why not? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So basically, a big explosion happens. Bat and Robin kind of grapple away. Clayface is defeated, not killed, just defeated. Clayface is being held. He's being hauled away in kind of a big old bathtub tank, so he doesn't, escape and everything.
It's totally a bathtub tank. Yes.
Yeah, this is kind of what they kind of did. And again, unfortunately, we don't really see Clayface outside of the whole Holiday Nights episode. We don't really see him again. But until like Justice League. But the point being is the idea is how you put him in something to hold him prisoner. So then we have our big prolific ending, Tiki.
Yep.
This Batman and Robin moment here, where Batman tells Robin, this line always stuck with me, man. Again, Conroy just
it is like one of the most fucking like downbeat endings to any episode, Trekken.
It is. It's like one of the. It's almost like Wolverine the X-Men, like the park bench of sadness, where there's this one spot in the X Mansion where all the characters go after really bad stuff's happened. They go to this bench all the time just to be the brood and be sad. It's kind of a running gag in the writers' room. Like, yeah, they go to the sad bench. But seriously, you're absolutely right. This is a very. But again, this Conroy had this line is always stuck with me. We're outside the whole. Oh my God, I know who Daddy is, which is also great. Where he just on kind of the more somber side of things, Batman imparting this really tragic piece of advice to his young ward here, where he says, "Sometimes there are no happy endings." And Robin gives the nod. Won't even look at Batman, just gives him the nod. Mm-hmm. And then we have the artful. This feels a very this might have been Goodman, but I want to say my instinct is Dini, but then again, I think Goodman.
Your instinct's always Dini.
Well, predominantly.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but
well, I mean, to be fair, he was on this episode regardless.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, again, Goodman though, Next Generation, man. So where Robin. He gives the nod. Batman doesn't look at him. And then we off to the side. Jim Gordon and a cop are basically listing the charges, and Gordon's like approving them. So we're booking Clayface. We're going to book him on B&E, the robberies, anything else. And then Robin just very quietly, because he's not really saying it, it would cause more questions than anything else. He's just kind of saying it to himself, really saying. And Batman, murder. We used to play this really sad music. He walks off, and we have the lighthouses, which were the symbol of Annie, just kind of kind of going off there. By the way, the Lighthouse Runner was a Hitchcock nod. By the way, it was like specifically from one of the Hitchcock movies. I cannot remember which. It's one that we
Vertigo, I think.
I mean, yes, but there was like
Vertigo's climax is in a lighthouse.
That's, I mean, probably there's another one by name, but I'm sure that one probably factored into it as well. It's like anyway, the point being, like they've referenced it before. It's like I think it's like Suspicion or something. Is there a Hitchcock movie called Suspicion? Or am I making that?
Dragon Hitchcock has a really, really vast filmography of like kind of like, you know, the interesting thing about Hitchcock that I learned in film school is that, you know, you got the classics and then you got like a whole myriad of Hitchcock B movies. So I legitimately don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably, I mean, there's definitely a lot of Vertigo there, but also there's this one that they keep referencing. I think it's like Suspicion or something along those lines. And the point being, I think it's a lesser known Hitchcock movie.
Anyway. I mean, yes, there is a Hitchcock movie called Suspicion.
I'm pretty sure that's the one they're referencing.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, so point being, it's that and Vertigo probably. Okay, so that's the episode. We end on the big symbol of Manny with the really sad music and just Batman watching Robin walk away, kind of changed going forward.
Gotcha. Dragon, for my final thoughts, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I have 9 words for you, sir. I have never been more excited for this show.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, my final thoughts. Again, this is a great Robin episode along with Never Fear, a very solid follow-up in the Clayface trilogy. This is kind of the ending of the Clayface trilogy, done proper, the Mudslide being the second one, Feet of Clays being one big one. Tim Drake, here's the thing, this episode made me think about Tim Drake. Ultimately, in the DCAU, we take this optimistic lad who's seen bad stuff. You know, we take it from his dad and the whole Two-Face affair and Sins of the Father. This kid, he's always been a good kid. In a bad situation. He's been around bad stuff. This is the beginning of that stuff really sticking with him. Like when the kid's father died, you know, it was sad, but you know, he was able to push through that, you know. Mm-hmm. But you know, this is the kind of stuff that there's a deep. We're gonna start. This is like the sense of we're kind of taking the innocence away. It's a loss of innocence story ultimately. It's a coming of age story, sure. It's about growing up, hence the title, Growing Pains. But also, you know, it's a loss of innocence episode. It's quite powerful. Again, we're gonna put them through some deeper traumas once we get to Batman Beyond. But that's what I'm saying. This is like the beginning of all.
Oh God, I know.
But yeah, it's a great dramatic. Again, it's kind of a great dramatic crossover of kind of Hey Arnold, Batman the Animated Series via the Francesca Marie Smith of it all.
Totally.
Because again, we've had those prolific Hey Arnold episodes as well. I mean, not quite like into the body of our bad guy, but you know. But seriously though, Growing Pains, it's one of the age. It is a Hall of Famer for sure for New Avengers.
Like I said, Dragon, solidly top 5 for me. I think solidly.
I don't know if here's the thing. I say it's in the top 5. There's some people, very, very few. I want to be clear. Very few people don't like this episode, and just in that sense, it's just because it's overshadowed by other ones mainly. That's basically, if people don't like Tim Drake, which is shocking because usually everyone likes Tim Drake, those are the people who wouldn't care for the episode.
Tim Drake is more popular than Raymond.
Yes.
Oh yeah. God, I referenced it. Hopefully, he doesn't take down our video.
Well, we didn't say the full names. Everybody loves Tim Drake.
All right. Anyways.
All right.
Okay. Is that it? You want to get into your dozier?
Yes. Seasonal crimes, ageism at Wayne Enterprises, a masked deformity, no calendar man. Can Batman stop the runway revenge? Or will the Caped Crusader not just be out of date, but out of time? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Bat Cave with Mean Seasons.
Oh my God. I know who Daddy is.
Robin, I have a very important word of advice for you. Don't wake Daddy.